welcome to another episode of Mighty Car Mods.
A little while ago, Marty and I flew into Japan and bought an S15 that we imported back to Australia.
But after seeing all those hot cars, I did not want to go home without one.
So at the end of the day on the way back to our hotel, we got word about a mad Shizuoka car for sale that was going to be perfect for Marty.
But as you'll see in this dramatization /
reenactment,
things did not go as planned.
Not mad.
It was a freezing night in Japan and dark as night, 'cause it was night. And we're about to buy this car and inspect it with Marty's good luck torch. With everything looking great, it's time for a test drive.
What do you reckon, Marty?
Dude.
Looks awesome, dude.
Perfect.
Okay.
We're doing it.
What language is that, do you reckon? I guess it should be Japanese, but I think he wants you to pay him, dude. Dude, we got Aussie dollars or...
Thanks,
What a weird dude.
Did you hear that?
I did hear that. Dude, there's a dude in your car! Dude, it's okay. It's okay, here we go. Are you alright? Are you okay, dude?
The man in the boot was found guilty for carrying contraband material in his body. He was fined and jailed for 4 years. The legacy was impounded, never to see Australian roads, and Marty cried the whole way back home. He didn't actually cry.
With my budget severely limited, I had to find something else. This is my brand new 1993 Subaru Liberty RS Turbo station wagon. It doesn't look like much now, but 17 years ago this thing was a unique and expensive vehicle. As you can see, this example has had a tough life before I owned it. The body is pretty messy, there's dented panels, scratches, wrecked bumper bars and skirts, the tint is ruined, stickers are missing, brake calipers are the wrong colour, and it has lots of paint issues. The car has its fair share of rust, and a replaced driver's window somehow destroyed the trims. There's no stereo, there's blown speakers, and worst of all, this. This is me on my first drive in the rain. That's right, leaking windscreen. Awesome.
I'm going to paradoxically say that I am speechless at the sight of such an ugly behemoth.
It has potential.
A totem pole of everything that the automotive industry doesn't stand for.
It's a fixer-upper, that's what they call them. You fix them and then they're great.
Now you fix it and then you blow it up. That's what it means, an upper.
We already did that.
Yeah, no, it's shit, dude. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Nobody calls my car a totem pole and gets away with it. It was up to me to prove Moog wrong. So the windscreen had to come out and the remains of a botched windscreen replacement stripped back and repaired. I managed to find myself a crashed GX wagon which shares the same panels. This supplied me with heaps of spare parts, very important when doing this kind of work. Next, the ugly 16-inch wheels were swapped out for my favourite Subaru 17s. The rear bumper was the first item to repair. The whole thing has to be removed, stripped of the skirts, and then sanded back until it's smooth as glass. Trims were masked off and my newly acquired paint gun put to the test. Not bad for a first go. The trims could be attacked with rattle can and then reattached to the rear bumper. The whole bar then bolts back into the car, and it's starting to look a whole lot cleaner. Subaru sells these trimmed for big bucks. We managed to pick this up for $3 a metre. The sticky backing is pretty useless. Some black adhesive does a much better job. The protective plastic is peeled off and the result is great. Something big and very heavy must have fallen on the bonnet scoop. These are hard to find second hand and very expensive new. The best option was to repair what I already had. The plastic dividers were broken, so they were ground off and the old paint removed. The crack was then ground down and filled with 2-part plastic repair compound. The whole thing is sanded and a plastic adhesion promoter applied, then primer, then finally the white top coat. I added some mesh to break up the paint, but it wasn't quite enough. I decided to go for the factory black and white colour scheme, and I reckon it looks great. Next, the nose of the car needed some reconstruction, and it was in much worse condition than the rear. There was a massive amount of sanding, filler primer and more sanding, until finally the primer and top coat could be applied. The driver's door also had primer on it from a previous repair. While the paint was in the gun, it was a great time to fix it up. The front bar could be reattached and the light and indicators slotted back into place. It's starting to look like a car again. Mechanically, the car's in pretty good condition, but the rear drive shaft boots were totally split on both sides. Some second-hand replacement shafts were extracted from a spare set of hubs and slotted into place. The brakes had also seen better days, so a full set of machine rotors and new pads were fitted up front and rear. Even more importantly, they were totally the wrong colour and that needed to be fixed straight away. After a thorough cleaning and sanding, it was painted using a more subtle black than our usual red colour theme. Sometimes you just get lucky. The sway bar we got off the GX Rec is 2mm thicker and has olefin bushes. A thicker rear sway bar helps stop the car understeering by reducing body roll and increasing grip on the front tyres. I soon discovered my steering wheel was trying to fight me in corners. Steering rack bushes are what attaches the power steering rack to the car. The factory bushes were pretty worn, so a new set of white line rack bushes was slotted in. This is an excellent bang for buck upgrade with little to no side effects. It was while spending so much time under the car and copping an eye full of oil that I realised I had to do something about this. I know, every time we come here the same thing happens, I'm sorry. Come on, there's no need to be cranky, I had to get genuine, where else am I going to get them? Subaru engines have two rocker covers. Heat and age causes the rubber seals to harden and leak oil. They sit close to the chassis rails. This makes it quite an unfun job to do. It was now I also discovered a totally split engine mount which needed to be replaced. There is nothing better than free power. A leaking factory blow-off valve leaks boost and is wasteful. It was time to get that power back with a recirculating GFB valve. This valve is a hybrid and has the option of diverting air both back to the intake and to the atmosphere for noise and reliability. After a few test runs, my previously lost free power was back in black. A final but very important mod was yet to come.
Okay, Marty, I'm going to be honest with you. Considering it's a piece of shizuoka, it actually looks okay.
I think it's impressive.
Impressive? It's a generous word, dude. I think the only people that would be impressed by a car like this would be a whole bunch of Subaru fans that, like cockroaches, have infested a city all at the same time.
Well, next weekend is the RS Liberty Club National Meet, and I'm going, and so are you.
Dude, I'm not going. You know what I think about Subaru people. Oh, look at this. I got the all-wheel drive, don't like the dip, and I'm faster off the line than an S15. Yeah, my engine's in there sideways. Blah, blah. Gosh, it's better than an Evo. Costs less than Jeremy Clarkson's at shipment. No, he's better, mate. He's better. No, I picked it up for 15. No, yeah, it was a few ram raids, but it's all right, mate. Yeah, no.
That's right, I'm not the only one with a 17-year-old turbo Subaru. Sure, a few parts fell off some cars on the way down, but it didn't matter. I was heading to Melbourne for the RS Liberty National. 950 k's to Melbourne, and the car didn't miss a beat. So just getting a nutritious breakfast before our day commences.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Our first day was a cruise through the famous Great Ocean Road. Located on the southern tip of Victoria, the Great Ocean Road is one of Australia's most beautiful and enjoyable drives.
250 right, handbrake into power slide. Should be fun.
Over jump, maybe.
Maybe it's better when it's dry, but that didn't stop us having a lot of fun.
Oh, what? And the dog's slow,
At least the dirt was dry. But it wasn't the Great Ocean Road that I was concerned about. I had to see what this rags to riches wagon of mine was truly capable of on the dyno. The car was set up and strapped on. 3 power runs in if I was lucky, no exploded engines. With only a 3-inch exhaust and chip from mods, the car pulled an impressive 144 kilowatts at all 4 wheels. This is a good 30% over the factory power level. Soon after, it was time to head back through the Melbourne CBD to prepare for the next day's event. My newly fixed Subaru will get its first go on the track. Track days are one of the best ways to learn about your car and how it handles. It was my turn to find that out.
How excited are you, Marty? Very? 11? 11 excited.
I wasn't the only one letting my inner hoon out in a safe and controlled manner and environment. The skid pan and track were getting a four-wheel drive turbocharged workout. I also had a chance to revisit my car's rally heritage in a safe and controlled manner and environment.
Bent. 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 Bent.
After winning not a single prize or award, it was time to pack up, jump back in my proven reliable and fun car and head back north. We went to Japan, we tried to get an import, and you all thought we got one. We let you think that for 9 months and we didn't want to let you down. We're sorry, but not sorry that we bought a car that could deliver so much bang for so little buck.